I am starting now general key 1B. So this is the second of our 3 keys on our broadleaf dichotomous key. This one reads, simple leaves with smooth or single tooth leaf margins. So to start off with, I was going to use this twig. This one has simple teeth. Single teeth, I mean. They're simple leaves, they're not compound, because here's a leaf, here's a bud. So that's a simple leaf. This is a woody stem. And they have single tooth leaf margins. All those teeth are roughly the same size. So I'm going to work our way down the key. The first one is asking if they're alternate or opposite. So these are alternate. These are alternate because there's a leaf and a bud, here's a leaf and a bud, they're alternating. So it's not an anniberry. Next one, leaves toothed, veins do not follow leaf. Leaves toothless, veins follow leaf margin, arcuate vein pattern. So these are toothed, we just saw them, and they have a pinnate vein pattern. So we don't have a dogwood. The next one's asking number of main veins does not equal number of teeth. So let's count. This is usually easier on the back. So if you can see those main veins, there are way more teeth than there are main veins. If you literally only had 1 tooth per vein, you would have an American beech. So that's not what we have. So the next is asking, this one's a tricky one, leaf stalk is less than half as long as leaf blade and does not have long resinous buds. Leaf stalk, usually at least half as long as leaf blade, may have long resinous buds. So I've got a poplar here to show you because that is confusing. What that means as half as long is if I take this leaf, I'll bring it up close, and I fold this leaf stalk over, this petiole, this leaf stalk, it's less than half the length of the leaf. If I take a leaf from this tree and I fold the leaf stalk over, it's about half as long. If I grab another one here, there's another one. This one is more than half as long when I fold it over. So, and then if I look at the buds on this one, they are big. And when it says resin, if I squeeze it, it gets my finger sappy and it smells quite strongly. These buds aren't quite as big, but they're pretty big and juicy. These are poplars. They have long petioles, and the balsam poplar has really stinky buds. This one is a trembling aspen, and this one is a balsam poplar. These are really common trees in northern Ontario. I'm not sure how common they are in southern Ontario, but they're pretty common generally. It's not what we have, but I wanted to explain that petiole thing because that lesser than and greater than symbols is confusing. So we don't have a poplar, so we're going to keep going. Our next one says blade usually greater than 2 times longer than it is wide. And this one says blade is less than 2.5 times longer than it's wide. So what that means is, do we have a long thin leaf or do we have a wide fat leaf? So this is a long thin leaf. If I take one of these leaves and I measure how wide it is, so I usually use my fingers. So this is about 2 fingers wide. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers long. So this is more than 2 times longer than it is wide. In fact, it is like 2.5 times longer than it is wide. This one is 2 fingers wide, but it's not even 3 fingers long. So this one's less than 2 times or 2.5 times long as it is wide. Short round leaf, long thin leaf. So the long thin leaves, you keep going and you have to tell if it's a cherry or a willow. So is this a cherry or a willow? But the short fat leaves, we go to the next page, to this page. I'm going to tell you that this one is a cherry because it has these little glands right here. Can you see those 2 little bumps? Those 2 little bumps mean that this is a cherry. It also has, and I don't know if you'll be able to see it, I'll see if I can get a microscope view. The buds look like little mini pine cones. Yeah, it's hard to see on this camera. The other thing about cherries is if you scratch and smell, so if I scratch the bark, so I can see that green underside, and then I smell it, it smells kind of funky, kind of skunky, kind of almondy, but it's quite pungent regardless. Willows don't smell pungent. Willows have a very bland smell. So where's our leaf? Let's go back to our leaf. So now we're trying to see on this side. So we've gone from here, it's a short round leaf, we're coming here. Glands on the leaf stalk, leaf egg-shaped, may have a skunky taste. So we don't have those glands. So now that I showed you the glands on that other cherry, you can see this twig, this leaf doesn't have them. And if I scratch and smell this twig, it doesn't smell skunky like that other cherry. So it's not a chokecherry. So now we're between serviceberry and basswood. The 2 things, if you can actually see the fruit, they're quite different. The leaves on the basswood are rounder and asymmetrical at the base. Not every leaf is asymmetrical. Look at a bunch of them. But for me, it's the buds that really tell the difference. If you can see here, these buds are long and thin. On a basswood, they're short and fat and a little bit reddish. These ones are long and thin. This is a serviceberry. There are a lot of different species of serviceberry. They have a lot of different common names. Saskatoon berries and, oh, why can't I think of any of the other ones? There's a lot of different kinds of serviceberries. But this will get you to serviceberry. All right. I want to do, no, I already did the cherry. All right, I think that's it for this key. Let's move on to the third one.